Today, we're going to walk through a really compelling story of personal change. And this is all drawn from one client's actual verified experience. It's a journey that starts with a pretty significant life limiting challenge and ends with what they describe as a brand new sense of freedom.
The story really begins with a feeling I think a lot of us can relate to. That feeling of being held back by some obstacle that just feels, well, insurmountable. In their own words from the review, this individual felt something blocked me from living life to the fullest. So, what exactly was this roadblock? Well, the review gets very specific here. The challenge was an extreme phobia of flying. And look, this wasn't just about having some pre flight jitters. The client described it as extreme. And that's a deep seated fear that can genuinely limit your world, affecting everything from personal travel to professional opportunities. And this brings up a huge question, right? When you feel truly stuck with a problem you've had for a long time, how do you even begin to move forward? For this person, the decision was to seek out a completely different path than what they might have tried before. Their search led them to Daniel Olson at the Orlando Hypnosis Center. Now, the source material notes that he's a professional with over 30 years of experience in his field, a detail that you have to imagine played a big part in the client's decision. And here's a detail from the client's account that really stands out. According to the review, the entire process to address this long-held extreme phobia, it involved just one session. Yeah, one. That's a pretty significant point in their reported journey. So what was the outcome after that session? Well, the client shared a really clear, tangible result. At the time they wrote their review, they had already taken 3 flights. For someone who once described their fear of flying as extreme, that number, wow, that represents a monumental shift. This just shows so perfectly that the reported transformation wasn't just about action, it was about a fundamental shift in mindset. They went from having an extreme phobia to, in their own words, being excited to book more flights. I mean, that's a powerful journey from a state of fear to one of genuine anticipation. Ultimately, the client's own words really capture the personal impact of this change. They concluded their review by saying, "I am beyond grateful for the positive shifts in my life." And that sentiment, it speaks to a much broader sense of well-being, It's beyond just the act of flying. So what can we all take away from this client's story? Well, first, that feeling of being stuck is a common, very human experience. And second, this account seems to suggest that exploring different approaches can sometimes lead to some pretty surprising outcomes. It really highlights the potential value in just learning about different processes for our own personal challenges. For anyone who found this case study interesting and maybe wants to learn more about the methods we talked about, the review references the Orlando Hypnosis Center. You can find more information about their process at danielolson.com.